We have with us Chris Farley of the Speakeasy blog. Chris, thank you for being with us.
Hey, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Now, this seems like I mean, I don't even know where to start on all of the details that came out on this. Is it the extra affairs we didn't know about, the beatings as a child? There seems like he covered a lot of ground in this interview. What to you is really significant out of all we suddenly have learned about Mr. Schwarzenegger?
Well, the headlines are talking about his secrecy, the fact that he hid a lot of things from his wife, not only his affair with his housekeeper, but also his affair, the fact that he didn't even let her know he was planning to run for governor until the last moment. He hid from her the fact that he was going to have heart surgery until he absolutely had to tell her. So there's obviously a problem with communication between Arnold Schwarzenegger and Maria Shriver. But the most interesting thing to me was something that wasn't on the show that they put on as an online extra on the web, the fact that Arnold Schwarzenegger admitted that he had actually presided over some same-sex marriages in the governor's office. That's significant because he actually, when he was in office, he came out against a proposal that would have legalized same-sex marriage. He opposed that legislation, and also he came out saying that he thought that marriage was between a man and a woman. So the fact he was doing this privately and saying something else publicly is something I'm sure people will debate and talk about in the weeks and months to come.
And then I understand, too, that one of his other big secrets is that he's now got a book out about all of this. So is this really, I mean, is this him telling all or whetting our appetites in the hope that we're all going to go out and buy the book and then see all the movies that he's working on right now?
Well, clearly he's a master of marketing. You know, all his success in the movies tells you that. But and this book it's out now. I read through it, skimmed through it. I can't say I read it in any kind of great detail, but I read it as quickly as I could so I could get the information out of it. There's a lot of interesting stuff in there. It's really 3 books in one. The first part is his wild rise from Austria to become bodybuilding champion of the world. The next part is his wild rise to become the #1 box office star in the world. And finally, his unlikely rise as governor. So 3 different books in one, plus the extra sort of add-on. He talks about the scandal at the very end of the book, the scandal with his housekeeper. So a lot of interesting stuff for 3 different sets of people. I wonder if all 3 sets will want to read the other parts of the book.
Well, I'm betting he's probably thinking they're going to buy the book first. And we're actually going to go to, we've got a clip of him talking about the scandal and how he ended up telling his wife about having a child with their housekeeper.
She then said, hey, I think that Joseph is your kid, and am I off here on this or not? And I said, you're absolutely correct. And I had to face up to that, which I have been kind of hiding, but no one knew about, and that I knew about at that point, maybe for 5, 6 years or so.
You just said you're absolutely right?
Yes, you're absolutely right, and I'm sorry, and it was very painful for her. She was very disappointed.
Maria asked you, why didn't you tell me? And what did you say?
That I did not know how to.
And now he has said in the interview that he feels like Maria wishes him well. Do you feel that that's delusional, or does he have actual expectations?
Well, Maria hasn't commented on the book, and certainly there really is no good way to tell your wife you're having an affair and had a child with your housekeeper. So you can see how uncomfortable he is talking about that. But he goes further than that. On the 60 Minutes interview, they said that he actually thinks that he can win her back. He hopes to win her back at some point. He himself says, well, maybe that's just the way I am. But a guy that had his kind of rise, had success in these disparate fields, obviously has incredible confidence in himself. And he talks about in the book about how he really developed the whole power of mind over body and willed him to the top of the bodybuilding ranks. And I would assume from reading his book that he feels he can exercise that same kind of control over his romantic life as well.